lately, personally, it's just starting to get to me where I see these people out there, like these leftists, and they're out there burning things, rioting, looting, and just causing all these problems, and just a blatant hypocrisy.
Oh yeah,
it's just getting to me.
Yeah, no, I completely feel you on that. Like, for instance, this story about the teens who got sentenced to anger management for killing a man over a dollar.
I heard about this. This one, $1.
Yeah, that's how much that guy's life is worth. Yeah.
So what state was this in?
Maryland.
Maryland. That is a shithole.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
It is, amongst other things, bordered by D.C., which is, for a lot of reasons, D.C. is kind of full of nastiness. Is a place to personally live because it borders Maryland. And then you can look at other places like Baltimore and whatever. It's just bad. Maryland is not a great state.
Wait, Machiavelli is saying they excuse it because he was on drugs? What? I didn't catch that part.
I thought they said that. Okay, so what I heard was that they didn't mean to kill him. They just wanted the dollar. So because there was no intention to kill him, it obviously wasn't murder. Which is nonsense, if you ask me.
Which is third-degree murder.
Well,
at least second.
Yeah, this is in the history of the United States, saved people from the chair like 0 times. So I don't see how that helps you out.
Well, from my understanding, though, third degree is you didn't intend on killing that person, you didn't have a plan. Second degree is you did intend on killing them, but you didn't have a plan. And first degree is you intended on it and you planned it.
It's all within the context of the reasonable man. Are you guys familiar with the reasonable man?
Well, the reasonable man should know that if you try to hit someone in the head, you better be prepared for them to not get back up.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. So via the reasonable man thing, you frequently would be able to argue second degree in this context, just based on the brutality of the assault.
And then what pisses me off the most is the media, like, obviously, and okay, so there's 2 things here. One is, I don't know if the guy was white or not, but the perps don't look white to me, but the media doesn't talk about it. And the headlines are never, African-American people kill. Okay, so it is a white man.
Yeah.
They killed a white man.
The photo has, I believe,
it's kind of blurry.
Pictures of you say, well, yeah, but
in this photo,
zoom in on the face of the guy who's not on the ground.
Yeah, you don't really have to.
No, the other, you can see.
It's very blurry, but there are other pictures that I have seen of this instance where it's not as blurry and you can clearly see it plain as day.
Yeah. And the media doesn't talk about it, and that pisses me off too, because then there's the headline. It's like, teens did this or the youth did that. If they mention race, it's always in the context of white guy did this.
I agree. There should be an equal treatment. Like, either don't make a deal out of the race, or I guess we'll just be obsessed about it in all cases.
Just be consistent.
It shouldn't be. Yeah. I think it shouldn't be a deal. But so, like, here's another story that goes along the same terms, kind of. You look at this headline: 4 teens, including juvenile, arrested in connection with Raleigh girls' murder outside Bojangles. So 4 teens, right?
Yeah.
19, 18, 17. Sure, technically teens, but come on, they're considered adults at that point.
This is adults murdering a minor.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're going to call them teens. And they're also, as far as I know, they're all African American too.
They are. So you look down, here's the mug shots.
Yeah.
Every one of them. And it's not the fact that their race is what really matters. It's the fact of how it gets reported, like we were talking about in the other one.
Okay. So what is their motivation on that other one? Like, so the first one, they wanted $1, which seems a little suspect. I don't think it was going to beat anybody to death for $1. I think there had to be something else going on there.
I think that it can be over something that's stupid, but I think the basic premise is you have a group of people who are being told every day that they're victims, so they feel entitled to both commit violence and to rob.
There's definitely a problem. But
I mean, it could just be
think it
stated.
could have been.
I'm
I think
not suggesting that that they're because I mean I'm not disagreeing. It could just be people that want to hurt people, but I don't think that their motivation, because it's a lot of work to beat somebody to death. Okay, you're not going to go to the trouble to beat somebody to death for a dollar. What? That's a soda.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. It's got to.
You're thinking from the perspective of rational people.
I don't think that these people are literally insane.
Well, there are insane people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to put yourself in that kind of mindset. It can be hard to understand.
No, I understand that there. Look, I live in Los Angeles, and we've got like 50,000 whatever methed out homeless people on the streets of my city, and a fair number of them are completely bonkers. Okay, as in they should be institutionalized for the rest of their lives because they cannot function in society. Period. End of story. It'll never happen. So I understand that there are crazy people, but I'm not sure if these people are crazy. I think they might just be, as you said, fed a violent ideology, which inclines them to sadistic acts. For example, like if a jihadi, for example, cuts somebody's throat, I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just been indoctrinated with a violent belief system.
Whoa, you're talking about Muslims here?
How dare you?
Yes.
I want to point it's possible, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this, is a lot of these crimes might just be hate crimes, but nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
I think what happened in this situation, from my understanding of it, is they intended to put the beat down on this guy, but they didn't intend on killing him. I would definitely, even if second-degree murder was a thing, I would have definitely
Isn't that
third degree.
Manslaughter?
Well, third degree, yeah, is basically just manslaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a question as to whether a reasonable man would, in this context, the amount of violence that they were bringing down on this person, a reasonable man would associate that with killing force. And if a judge and jury determined that a reasonable man would associate this with killing force, then it would not be accidental.
But you could definitely get third degree, just out of the ballpark with that one. Second, you might be able to get.
Well, a judge could give you a pony, but it's by the norms and the precedents of the court, you could absolutely get second degree off this. I'm not saying it's prescriptive, but it's certainly possible.
It'd be easier to get third, though.
Oh, it's always easier to get a lighter sentence. Always, the easiest sentence would be, here's a pony. That's
easier to get third, and I would also feel like justice was actually served. And I feel like the majority of people would feel that justice was served, except maybe his wife or really close family.
Well, victims that lose, families that lose somebody, there's nothing you can do for them. You can't bring the dead back.
Yeah, you're not. No matter what you send them to. Yeah, it's not resurrecting the guy. Right,
and it's not the purpose of the court to bring the dead back. It's their job to adjudicate the law to maintain order.
Well, they didn't do that here.
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't. And they haven't been doing it in Portland for at least 80 nights.
Well, yeah, this is an interesting little experiment they're going through again here. So, are you guys familiar with what was happening in the 1970s in the United States?
No.
Vis-a-vis law? A version of the same thing. I hesitate to say that it was as goofy as this. But there was definitely kind of a soft on crime attitude that was prevalent at the time. And the consequence of it was it built up an opinion in the electorate that, dropped the hammer, which is then, we got the 1980s and to a certain extent the 1990s thereafter. We got about 20 years of relatively stiff criminal justice, and it was the result of lax justice in the 60s and 70s that that led to a crime spree, and it was destroying cities. Ironic. So New York is at this moment ripping itself apart, and New York was ground zero for the craziness that was happening in the 60s and 70s with the police and so on. And it was basically the doom of the city. The city was dying, and it was subsequent mayors and of course the voters who voted these people in that cleaned New York up. I mean, New York back in the 70s had porn parlors in Times Square. There was like those nude theaters. Like you go into the theater and they screen like pornographic films. Guys go in there and jerk off. That was what Times Square used to be.
The good old days.
Yeah. So New York has gone through an incredible transformation and revitalization, which has in the last 5-6 years. I don't know exactly where this begins and ends, but it's something like that. It's all been undone, and they're taking the yoke of the plane and pointing it right at the ground and accelerating, and it's like, well, what do you think is going to happen, De Blasio? You crazy son of a bitch.
I still prescribe to the RoboCop theory.
The Rainbow Cop?
RoboCop.
Oh, yeah.
So de Blasio is intentionally getting people to leave the city so he can buy the buildings at a cheap cost and then rent them out.
Right. Well, that's Tim Pool's theory.
With the Democrats, I'm not sure they have a plan. I think they're just opportunistic. So when the opportunity presents itself, they just go with it.
Yeah.
So
my second prevalent theory would be that he's trying to just wreck New York so that he can go, hey, look what Orange Man did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to side more with Mr. Obvious here. One of the things I've noticed with these guys is they're not long-term thinkers with anything but their own power. Like when it comes to their own power, they tend to be pretty calculating and clever and rational. It's that it's the whole Hamlet line of mad by when the wind blows north by northwest. But when the wind shifts the right way, so they pretend to be crazy is basically the thing. So we got a fun statement. I don't know if you have an article on this one. But this is near and dear to my heart because this is just one of those aha moments out of California. So I'm Mr. Obvious. I'm from Los Angeles. How you doing there?
My condolences.
Yeah. And so Gavin Newsom, the smiling governor of the state of California, has informed Californians in our seasonal brownouts, which we have every year, that Californians need to sober up about the limitations of renewable energy. Because we've been investing ridiculously in wind and solar and all that kind of stuff, which inevitably betrays us every single time the weather doesn't cooperate. And it's stupid expensive and all kinds of things. And we're told that it's cheaper than coal. It's not. And so he's saying that we need to think about providing energy in a way that is not wind and solar. And that's unprecedented.
Yeah,
out of these people. That's a new one. And it's like, holy shit, are you guys finally fucking learning? It's like that moment at the end of War Games, if you guys don't mind the 1980s pop culture reference, that where they had the computer that was had to learn that nuclear war was not a game you could win. And by basically just trying to in a simulation, nuke the planet like a million times in a row and realize, oh shit, there's no way to do this without destroying everything. Yeah,
but we did.
Huh?
We did win.
Well, we didn't nuke the world.
We still use nukes. We won with nukes. I mean, you could still win with nukes.
Oh yeah.
When no one else had them.
In 1945, But not 1989. You're not.
I don't know, man. It
Now,
depends.
The world's gonna die. I mean, let's shoot nuke the UK because
No.
maybe not. Like the last leader, he flat out said, "I will not use nukes no matter what." And it's like, bruh, you're not supposed to say that. Sure, you can think that, but if you say that, everyone else is gonna be like, okay, so we can fuck with them and
Basically,
not worry about it.
It doesn't even matter though, because okay, so let's say you're a British dude in a British boomer submarine. Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar, those are the ICBM submarines that basically cruise around in the water, being very quiet and trying not to be noticed. And in the event of the apocalypse, these things rise to launch depth and end the world. So imagine you're a British boomer submarine captain, and I don't know, the Russians or the Chinese or whomever, right, has annihilated everyone you've ever loved. And you got an order from the prime minister or whatever saying, oh, don't fire the nukes, though. You'd be like, I'm going to fire the nukes.
Well, you brought up submarines, so I
You're
have
gonna do it
to
anyway.
point out,
Do it anyway.
we might have to worry about China. I don't know if you know this or not, but they may be using the sea to hide its submarines.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
yeah.
Those
This is
cunning
shocking.
bastards.
I saw that meme again today, but they put a submarine in the clouds and it said, stupid bastards.
Did you see that? Did you see that picture of? It was China. It was a picture from China, and they have a submarine, and it's going in like a cave, and it's the craziest thing because the cave is underneath the land, and it just goes underneath and it goes in. They have some sort of underwater military base.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
That's
It's
not
the most
unusual
interesting
for
thing.
submarine pens. Submarine pens do that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we probably have at least a few of those.
I
The
feel like we
Russians
need
did
to
that a lot.
expand.
Huh?
I feel like we
I
need
feel
to.
like America has. We're spread too thin, and then we're not spending enough. I know everyone says we spend so much money, but like China is rapidly expanding. We need to be able to counter anything they can throw at us, and I'm not sure if we're there. Like,
Well,
we need to get more nukes.
as my city, one of the largest employers in my city is the military industrial complex. That's right, Los Angeles motherfuckers. You guys didn't know we make the bombs. Yeah, give me money to make bombs. Thank you.
I agree.
The economy of Los Angeles appreciates that. Thank you very much. We mostly make the robots, though. You know, like the little flying death robots that
The little
Zoomer-
drones.
the drones, all that. Yeah, we make those and missiles.